More than 800 people with one mission, promoting a healthy environment. We are the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection.
Surveying aquatic life and testing water quality in West Virginia's many creeks and streams can usually be accomplished with a pair of hip waders. But it's a different story on the state's major rivers and deep lakes. That's when it becomes a job for the DEP's dive team. The DEP's Sarah Alford joins us now from Charleston with a closer look at the program.
Kathy, sometimes a problem with the body of water isn't readily apparent from the surface. That's when the DEP dive team comes in for a closer look. Summersville Lake in Nicholas County is a popular spot for scuba diving and the location for today's dive team training exercise. Team members suit up and check each other's equipment. Only 3 members of the team are in the water at one time. Another member, the ready diver, waits in the boat fully suited up in case there's a problem in the water. Team members are all volunteers. Each one has a separate full-time job inside DEP.
My regular gig for DEP is I'm a solid waste landfill permit writer.
I work with the Division of Water and Waste Management. I'm an environmental resource specialist too.
I work for land restoration and environmental remediation, landfill closures and leaking underground storage tanks.
I work with the Office of Environmental Advocate. I'm an environmental resource analyst.
And I'm in the groundwater program, and I do groundwater remediation.
The team is practicing some of the skills they'll use later this summer in a joint program with the West Virginia DNR and Marshall University surveying freshwater mussels in the Kanawha River.
We'll lay out a survey line, and we'll swim along the survey line. We'll look for freshwater mussels and do counts of them, and see what the quality of the water is based on the mussels.
We're just trying to get a general idea of what the population is, how many species and a number of species, and then we try to also get an age of the different mussels. So we're out there collecting and we send the mussels up to the surface.
But it's not all scientific survey.
We've also looked for coal tar spills in the rivers. Like there's one at the Mon. They did a cleanup and we went in and it was our job to go out and see if the cleanup was successful or not. And we've also looked at outfalls to see if outfalls are discharging properly.
Dave Cheney is a 10-year veteran of the team with 40 years of underwater experience.
It gives me an excuse to get away from my computer for a while. That's what I like about it.
Nate Meadows, who's providing the underwater video, is one of the newer members. An experienced diver, he says his work with the dive team has been a real learning experience.
This is my first mussel survey training scenario, so most of the other dive team members, they've done this before, so I'm kind of the new guy. So I get the camera. I enjoy doing that, taking pictures of them while they're training and working, and it's a good experience for me because I get to see firsthand what they're doing without being in their way, kind of.
And the most difficult part of the job?
Carrying the gear to the water. Once you're in the water, it's a whole different story. I don't want to say you become one with the water, but actually in many ways you do.
The fish aren't scared of you. You know, when you're fishing and you try to catch fish, that they have nothing to do with you. And when you're scuba diving underneath the water, I guess they think you're one of them.
Working underwater offers a unique perspective and something team members say they enjoy sharing, like at this recent youth gathering.
Go out and collect freshwater mussels, you get to repopulate freshwater mussels, and then you get to explain to the kids why it's important to, everything from not littering to, turn the sink off when you brush your teeth, conservation. It all adds up. Everything is connected, and we see that when we're underwater. I think the greatest perspective I get is when I'm in the middle of a channel on a major river system like the Kanawha River, and you can just hug the bottom of the river and you just feel the power that's coursing through there, and it reminds you of why you do what you do.
The DEP dive team works for the Environmental Enforcement Section. Kathy, in addition to some of the projects already mentioned, the dive team also helps investigate the condition of small dams. In Charleston, I'm Sarah Alford for Environment Matters.
Thanks, Sarah. It's the largest environmental event of its kind, and after nearly a quarter of a century, the annual Ohio River Sweep continues to have a big impact. Organized by Orsanco, the Ohio River Valley Sanitation Commission, the sweep covers more than 3,000 miles of shoreline from the Ohio River and its tributaries as it passes through 6 states, including West Virginia. This year's cleanup took place June 15th. The DEP coordinates West Virginia's part of the event. Thousands of volunteers from 10 river counties spent the day gathering up all kinds of trash and debris, which is then either recycled or properly disposed of. The sweep covers the entire length of the river from its beginning at Pittsburgh to where it flows into the Mississippi at Cairo, Illinois. Another big cleanup, the Great Kanawha River Sweep, takes place on September 14th. The project is sponsored by the DEP's Make It Shine program. Volunteers can participate at sites in all counties bordering the Kanawha River from Gauley Bridge to Point Pleasant. If you or your group would like to help out, give us a call at 1-800-322-5530. It was a record-setting year for the annual Make It Shine Spring Cleanup. The highest number of volunteers to date, 6,050, took part in a record 147 different cleanup projects during the first 2 weeks of April. Volunteers removed more than 200 tons of trash from West Virginia's roadsides, streams, trails, and parks. They also cleaned up more than 40 illegal dump sites. West Virginia Make It Shine is a comprehensive program aimed at making West Virginia the cleanest state in the nation. Coming up, finding funds for stormwater runoff projects can be a challenge for many local governments, but a DEP workshop is offering some new ideas to deal with an old problem. We're back in a moment.